to track all those terrorists down and kill them. I mean, you don't jack what the Israelis do. If you're a terrorist, you need to stay away from the Israelis because they going to kill you.
Yeah, and literally, that was Texas. We would kill you back. And it took them, 6 or 7 years to get all of them?
What's the name of their Secret Service? God, doesn't it start with the H? Bad dudes, man.
What is it?
I watched a documentary on Netflix about it.
Mossad.
Oh, yeah, M. H-M, it's all the same. Yeah, the Mossad. The Mossad are no peoples with, dude.
No.
There's a documentary on Netflix, and they interview a bunch of dudes in their 70s in the Mossad. When these dudes talk, you just get the impression they'll kill you today. They don't give a shit.
Tell you what, we took a class with an Amman, Amman is a military intelligence officer, and just giving us techniques on getting intel. And
shit.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, but we can't do that. Okay, that's really cool, but we can't do that either.
I'm willing to bet Israel doesn't.
Let's just say, where we might use waterboarding as a last resort.
That's Tuesday for them.
Waterboarding is the welcome. It's like saying hello.
That's a high five to these dudes, man.
Yeah, that's your cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Those guys are bad ass. There's no way I could touch that. There's no way. I'm not smart enough to be Amman. Those guys are so smart, and they use everything that you say and everything completely against you. They can flip shit around so good. They make it look like it was your idea to spill your guts. It's crazy how they do that.
Well, that documentary I was talking about, they snatch a dude from somewhere and take him to a hotel room. And when he gets there in his chair, he asks him straight up, "Are you going to kill me?" And this old dude tells him, he says, I looked him in the eye and said, "Yes, we are." And then for 2 days, they just had conversations with him, drank wine with him. You tell me what a mind F that is. For 2 days, he's waiting. And they're being congenial with this dude, drinking wine with him, feeding him good food. Holy shit.
Probably watching a movie or two.
Yeah, I don't want to go
maybe
out like
play
that,
some
dude.
Poker.
Taking him to a movie. I mean,
if you're going to kill me, don't butter me up.
Yeah, dude. Like, they tell him 2 days before they kill him, they're going to kill him, and then they just hang out with him. Man, you talk about a horrible 48 hours.
No, and tell them, we're going to go get some donuts. And so they go get donuts and bring it back. And the next day, we're going to go get some donuts. Then they go to get some donuts and come back, and we're going to get some donuts. What kind of donuts would you want? Chocolate? Cool. Bang.
Well, I think it's the same dude that said eventually, okay, well, it's time. And the guy was like, it's time. He was like, and by this point, he thinks that we've softened up.
Yeah.
And he lets him know it's time to kill him. I'm like, oh my God, you talk about some mental torture before they off you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
God dang.
I know we've gotten completely off track here, but
it happens.
It's fun to talk about. Not so much killing people. That's not fun to talk about. Techniques. I love talking about guns, and of course I went to the gun show, so we talked about that a little bit. But here's something that I want to know, and you wrote this down, and I've kind of been wondering this too. If the military has seen a decline in numbers of people joining due to the millennials, are the millennials just too scared to go in the military?
See, that crossed my mind the other day when I was watching. I almost texted Donnie to look into this, but then I knew Donnie would put it together on her own list. But it makes me wonder. Like we operate completely on a volunteer, and with the state of our country, I wonder if we've seen a huge decline in people joining. The only thing that I can think that would save this is the southern state. But you can't tell me that there hasn't been a huge decline in like some of the northeastern states or, California. That's a gimme, but you can't tell me there's not a huge.
There's got to be. Our military is about as bare as it's ever been to begin with. In the 90s we had all the base closures, and then the numbers, consolidation. Andrews Air Force Base is now Joint Base Andrews.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not Air Force Base anymore. It's a Joint Base. So is
I didn't. Yeah, that's news to me.
Yeah, so is Lackland Air Force Base.
Now, I knew Lackland was.
That's a joint base. Which, to be honest with you, I'm pretty happy that all the services are now kind of talking to each other and sharing information and that kind of stuff, because it does make for a good military. You know, if you're training all your medics the same, whether they're Army or Navy or Air Force.
But don't you think some of that is due to the type?
Well,
like that happened as a product of the type of war.
Yeah, but you know, you'll have Navy people working aside Air Force people, even in a military hospital.
But think about like Mount School. That's much more influential in training soldiers than it used to be.
Oh, sure.
Based on the environment we're fighting. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that the war that we're in, I think that changed the military's, the way they operate and the way they train people and the way they share information. I think this war changed that. And obviously for the better, but I don't think we'll ever see a day like it was back in Vietnam or anything.
Well, you know, when I first went in the military, back in the mid-'80s, we were still trained like a jungle military.
Yeah.
Remember the monkey incident? Jungle. Yeah. It was jungle training, right?
I love that story.
Yeah. But, you know, now, you know, toward the end of my service, you know, we were building up the technique of clearing rooms. You know,
you watch certain things. I watch certain things on television and that have to do with the war. And you watch guys that are in these combat environments and the way they move, the way they're clearing buildings and the way they're clearing rooms. And, you know, I watch them kick doors and how they start dividing a room up. And I'm like, these are techniques that my dad spent the better part of his career teaching police officers to do, you know? But now that we're in these urban environments, these guys are utilizing all these techniques like slicing the pie in a room and this and that. And, you know, it's very much like SWAT teams operate because just the environment that they're in over there fighting in. Yeah, it's changed a shit ton, dude. I mean, compare that to what we were doing in Vietnam, night and day.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no more jungle warfare. And anything now, you know, especially with drone technology. You know, you and I are just giddy over drones when it comes to just camera stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, you know, the military, you know, take that Mavic Mini. You make a military version of that Mavic Mini, a soldier can carry that thing in his pocket.
Literally,
and he can throw that thing up in the air and see insurgents. You know, we didn't have that.
I never thought about that, dude, until you just up. That's very intriguing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You can literally reach in your pocket and throw something in the air that's going to give you intel. That's going to save countless lives of the unit.
Instant intel, and so you know, and if that unit costs a couple $1,000, well, if it gets shot, no big deal. You know, a couple $1,000 is not anything. You know, a couple $1,000 is a rifle that you carry.
Well, I was going to say a couple $1,000 is a lot. Every soldier that's there.
Yeah.
You know?
But, you know, if you had 2 or 3 people in your unit that carried one of those, you know, some are going to get shot out of the air, but somebody else is going to have one right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you can work up on a tablet if you want this thing to sweep a grid.
Yeah.
You know, you can finger point on a tablet.
You think about the things a civilian drone. And you know the military has technology that is well beyond that.
Zoom capabilities.
Yeah, you know. Well, think about the war room that politicians sent in. You know, they're watching this stuff in real time. You know, they watched the raid that killed bin Laden in real time. I'm sure they watched the bombing that killed Soleimani in real time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's crazy to think.
I like having that in certain ways, and I don't like having that in certain ways. I like having that because somebody can make the call to, you know, call for you to disembark whatever you're doing and get back. You know, they've got satellites and everything. And, you know, if it's going to be like a 20 to 5 situation, you know, that you're getting ready to walk into, you know, real time, they can call you back and say, hey, don't hold on. Let's get more units there first. But that also puts a lot of people above you from making a decision. You know, for what you used to train for on the ground, you know, you had the capability of making a lot of decisions on your own right there. And all that responsibility is gone. It's all taken away by somebody else in a chair watching a bunch of video. And unfortunately, sometimes those calls, being an armchair quarterback.
They need to be made on the field.
Right. You're not seeing everything as an armchair quarterback. So, there's good and there's bad to it. The good part is if they tell you to take all these people out and you take them out and there happens to be women and children there, well, you didn't make that call.
Yeah. That's not on you.
Right. But if nobody told you to take them out or not, and you pop up and you see women and children, you're not gonna shoot. You're gonna recognize that they're women. Now there's certain places now that you'll have insurgents that will dress up like women, and that's a bit scary.
Here, going back to what we started talking about, millennials not joining the service and this and that. I didn't see a shit ton of it, but I saw a handful of tweets from people that are in that age group, and basically they all said the same. I refuse to join. I refuse to be drafted and fight a war, or some of them named. Here, my problem with that is you're not fighting a war with the president. You're fighting a war.
Yeah, would you do it if Obama asked?
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that.
You won't do what Dad says, but you'll do what Mom says.
I saw a mother posted, "My son's 20 years old, and I'm going to tell the country if they institute the draft. I refuse to let him fight for this."
Bye.
Well, okay, listen to me, you dumb bitch. He's not fighting for the president. He's fighting for the freedoms of this country. No two ways about it. And if you're going to encourage your son to leave this country and not fight for those freedoms, then you need to pack your goddamn bags with him, and you need to leave too, because you don't deserve to have those freedoms either. I just can't wrap my head around people's stance on this. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Why don't you fight for the freedoms that you enjoy? If you enjoy calling Trump an idiot and you enjoy putting down the military and you enjoy blocking traffic because it's a military base nearby or whatever, please join the military to be able to serve and protect those rights that you have to do that. And I know that seems like a conundrum, but you've put yourself in a conundrum.
Well, I guarantee you, if you lived in Iran and you called Soleimani a cocksucker on Twitter, or you lived in North Korea and told Kim Jong-un to suck your dick, there's a high probability that you're going to have to pay for that statement because they don't have the freedom of speech.
No, and chances are, if you're in Iran and you do that, you're going to pay for that with a bullet.
Yeah, or they're going to stone you. They're going to rock you to death.
They'll dig a hole. They'll bury you up to your shoulders, and they'll stone you to death because you can't get out of a hole filled with dirt.
A few months ago, I saw a video on Twitter that people were talking about. Oh, you think Islam is a peaceful religion? Check this out. And it was a woman sitting on a dirt road, and they were stoning her. And it was one of the most disgusting, violent things I have ever witnessed, ever. And somebody commented on that thread that said that they had researched it, and she was accused, not convicted. She was accused of adultery. And I'm not kidding you. You hadn't seen anything that's as violent as somebody that's killed with a bunch of. I'm not talking about stones that are the size of a baseball. I'm talking about stones that are the size of a bowling ball.
Cinder block.
Yeah. That ain't no joke, man.
That'd leave a mark.
All day long. All day long.
Sounds like a good place to stop for a sec. I've got to go pee because I'm 52 years old, and I'm sure Shiner's probably going to need to do the same. So we will be back after you hear this tasty music.
Let me urinate.
I'm back in the saddle again, and I shouldn't sing. I shouldn't sing because this topic that we've been on. We're going to kind of continue on a little bit. I thought we were going to that Ilhan Omar,
dude. Enemy within is all I can say on this.
You ain't damn kidding.
I mean, how in the hell she is a politician in this country and tweeting the shit that she tweets. If you don't think she's a